So in this slide, you see this is an EC2 instance, and this EC2 instance has 4 major components. These are mandatory components, right? So when you launch your instance, so you will use these 4 major components to launch your instance. The first is AMI. What is known as AMI? AMI is an Amazon Machine Image. I told you that I'm not going to explain you all the technical term in depth. I'm just demonstrating you how you would create your first EC2 instance in AWS account, right? So because when you launch a virtual machine, so virtual machine is a kind of a machine that run on hypervisor. I'll tell you what is virtualization and what is a hypervisor. I'll teach you. Yeah, definitely I'll explain you later. Yeah, definitely I'll explain each and everything in detail later, right? But right now I'm just demonstrating you how you could create your virtual machine. The first component is AMI, or a template of an operating system. You will choose a template of an operating system to launch your instance. So, and that also is known as AMI. AMI stands for Amazon Machine Image, or you can say image of an operating system. That because we are not using any physical server here, we are not using any physical machine where you can put your CD or pen drive to install operating system. We are using AMIs here to launch operating system. So we have an AMI, large number of AMIs we have. Secondly, you will choose configuration of instance, means how much CPU, how much RAM, and how much network capabilities are required for this instance. And it does depend. So we have number of combination of configuration. So we pick those configuration and we can just provide to our virtual machine. So instance type, that is called the instance type. So instance type is a configuration, a hardware configuration for your virtual machine, right? Second is third option is EBS. EBS stands for Elastic Block Storage. Elastic Block Storage acts like a hard disk or SSD drive for your virtual machine, where you will launch your operating system, where you will, because definitely the hard disk is required in your machine to launch your operating system, right? So that is known as, this component is known as EBS. And a fourth one is security group. So security group is a kind of an external firewall that you will attach with your EC2 instance to filter incoming and outgoing traffic. So this is a mandatory component, right? So this is an external firewall for your EC2 instance. So you have to connect with your EC2 instance to filter incoming and outgoing traffic. On what behalf it filters, we will see later on, and how it works, we will see later on. But these are the 4 components that you would require, correct? So again, and everything that you create here means this EC2 instance is this EC2 instance you will create on the top of AWS global infrastructure. Means you are using AWS global infrastructure. The global infrastructure contains actually region. So we have number of regions. I'll explain you what are the region, what are the availability zone. Everything I'll explain later on step by step, right? So guys, AWS global infrastructure is provided by AWS, and on the top of this, we are creating our EC2 instance. So first of all, we will choose in which region this machine to be created. Secondly, we will choose some availability zone, which is a subsection of region. You can say it's basically an isolated sector or an isolated location within the region. Region is a some geographical location. So I'll tell you each and everything later on. But we are using AWS global infrastructure, and on the top of this, we will create EC2 instance, and EC2 instance has 4 major components. Number 1 is AMI. AMI is a machine image, or you can say image of operating system or a template of an operating system. Secondly, configuration of the machine that you will provide to your EC2 instance. Third is EBS. EBS is a kind of a hard disk to that you would connect with your EC2 instance, or you can say elastic block storage. And fourth component is security group, which will behave like an external firewall for it with your EC2 instance. So you please remember, so these are the four components we will use to create your machine. Secondly, I can also do like this. Let's say this is your instance, and this instance need Amazon machine image, right? This is, it needs AMI, Amazon machine image, and you will connect EBS volume, right? So this is known as EBS volume. Let's say this is EBS, elastic block storage, or you can say this is the hard disk of your this instance. Secondly, this is the configuration, right? This is the configuration. So let me connect my whiteboard, because I use usually my whiteboard to explain these diagrams, and I think you would like this method. I don't use much slides. Just a minute. Right. Okay. So guys, and you will provide, this is your instance configuration or instance type. So AMI was the first component, instance type was the second component for your EC2 instance, and this is your EC2 instance, right? And EBS is a third component for this EC2 instance. EBS is what? It's just kind of a hard disk with your machine. And a fourth component is this is security group. And let's say this is connected with internet. So I'm not making any other. So directly it is connected with the internet. And here my client is accessing this machine from the internet. Okay. So this client must have important component called key. So if he has the key of this instance, so this is the instance, right? This is the instance. So then only he will be able to take the remote of this machine. So this key is required. To log in into this machine, key is required. We are not using a password here. We are using cryptography mechanism to take the remote of this machine from the internet. And in this, we must have private key. So we are using actually public key and private key. I'll explain you later on everything, what is a key, what all these are. So step by step, I'll just explain you everything. But right now, I'm just telling you how the things can be organized, how the things are being organized, and how you will create your first EC2 instance. Is it clear till now? Yeah.